Hey, what is up guys, it's Arodiad here. Welcome to another top 10 video of my top 10 most forgotten Pokemon. Keep in mind that this list is opinionated, so if you don't agree with any Pokemon on this list, feel free to leave your own top 10 in the comment section below. Keep in mind that this doesn't mean that the top 10 worst or anything. This is the top 10 like least Pokemon that don't come. Okay, I stuffed that all the way up. It's like the Pokemon that don't come to mind when you think about Pokemon. So like, if I say like, what's your favorite Pokemon, they will never pop in your mind. So, without further ado, why don't we just get straight into the list. Coming in at number 10 is Corsola. Not a lot of people remember Corsola for the simple reason that it doesn't really evolve. It doesn't do anything. Its defense and special defense stats are its best with 85, which still isn't that good if it's like niche, I guess you could say. Like if it's point where it's supposed to shine, it's not really that great. Its speed stat is terrible at 35. Everything else is either 55 or 65. It doesn't really have much to really draw it to it. That's why it's an NU in the Pokemon tiers. The only really saving grace I can see with it is like Regenerator or Natural Cure. Those are its two most beneficial like abilities. It has access to Stealth Rocks, Recover, Toxic, Scald, so it can be a good wall. However, there are a lot better like Pokemon out there. Like I strictly would use Walrein personally because I think it's a lot better of a Pokemon. However, I don't think a lot of people like remember Corsola, especially since I'm pretty sure in the original games it was just extremely hard to get, and it just wasn't prominent at all. So my number 10 goes to Corsola. Coming in at number 9 is Octillery. Octillery, like its pre-evolution Remoraid, is just not spoken about at all. I think the most notificational things it gets is because Octillery learns, I don't know if it's just itself now, but its signature move Octazooka, but that's not even really used that often. It has pretty good attack and special attack at 105, which is nothing to laugh about. Its HP defense and special defense is at 75, so it's not bad, not good, but its speed's where it really falls down at 45. It is not a fast Pokemon. It tends to get outclassed by a lot of other water Pokemon as well, and it's kind of just forgotten. I think the only time I'd ever use one is for its ability Suction Cups if I'm fishing in X and Y. Moody is also a very good ability that it has, which is like its random stat is lowered by 1 stage, but another one is boosted by 2 stages every turn, so it could be kind of fun to use, kind of like Metronome where you don't know what you're going to get. However, that ability is banned and competitive, which is probably the only thing that would draw me towards Octillery. Not really much is said about Octillery. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Octillery is number 9 for the simple reason that I don't really know much about it. Coming in at number 8 is Wormadam, and I'm just thinking, bad pun incoming, who gives a Wormadam about Wormadam? I mean, really, it's a very irrelevant Pokemon. Sure, the one thing that kind of drags you towards it is it can be multiple types. It can be Bug Grass, it could be Bug Ground, or it could be Bug Steel. It's just not a very good Pokemon in general. I mean, nothing really drags me towards Wormadam. Its speed stat is terrible with 36, its special defense is alright with 105, and its defense at 85. However, Bug Steel has already been done multiple times. It only has one weakness, which is a quad weakness to 5, but still, it's done quite a bit. Bug Ground is probably the most unique one. However, still wouldn't consider using it. And Bug Grass is just used everywhere, just tossed around left, right, and center. Kind of like Oprah giving out presents. But I mean, just like Wormadam, no one really cares for Wormadam. I mean, like, again, this is gonna be an on-running thing, because I don't really know much about to say about all these Pokemon, because I haven't really seen them much. But it's just like, there's a lot better Pokemon out there that do the job that they're supposed to do a lot better. But number 8 is Wormadam. Coming in at number 7 is Masquerain. Now, Masquerain is actually one of these Pokemon that I list that I actually really like. Its design is quite unique, and I actually enjoy it a lot. It's got Intimidate, which is its ability, which actually is quite a good ability, especially in double battles. However, it really falls in its aspects of stats. Nothing in its stats goes above 82, which is its special defense, and its move pool off memory is like it's alright, but it's mostly used as like a baton pass, so Quiver Dance, baton pass, get out of there. It's pretty frail when you consider it, and it's just not really used because when it got introduced in 3rd gen, I'm pretty sure it's the 3rd gen Pokemon, Surskit was extremely hard to find, and once you do, it's just like it evolves into a bug flying type, which we have so many of those already. I think Masquerain would have so much more usage if they kept Surskit's typing of bug water, because at the present time, it's the only one with that typing. It's the only type with bug water, and I think that Masquerain would have a lot more relevance, and I just think Masquerain, they keep this guy so like in the shadows. No one really brings it up. And it's not like, I don't know, let's say Pidgey, where Pidgey is like, I'm kind of pointing everywhere like you guys can see it. like Pidgey isn't a good Pokemon. Let's just pretend Pidgey didn't evolve. Pidgey's not a good Pokemon, but Pidgey's goddamn everywhere, so everyone knows Pidgey. Masquerain isn't that good of a Pokemon, but Masquerain's nowhere, so there's nothing there to make you, like, some people don't even know this Pokemon exists, that's how rare it is. But Masquerain, number 7. Coming in at number 6 is Clamperl. Clamperl is one of those Pokemon that you get very late in the game during Hoenn, I'm pretty sure, 3rd gen. But I don't know if Hoenn's 3rd gen, but anyway, it's one of those Pokemon that you get, and it can evolve into 2. It can either evolve into Huntail or Gorgeist, something like that. And it needs trade items to evolve, and considering it was 3rd gen where it came out where you need the link cable and things, not a lot of people use Clamperl for the simple reason that it didn't evolve, and if you did, you need the link cable to evolve it, and then it finally became kind of useful. The one saving grace that it does have is that it has access to Shell Smash, which it can pass to its evolutions, which, because Gorbis and Huntail, they don't have goddamn shells to smash or anything like that, but because they learn it as a Clamperl, I'm pretty sure they learn it as a Clamperl, it'd make a lot more sense if they did, but because they learn it as that, they actually become kind of useful, because Aqua Jet with White Herb, or whatever you want to give it, it can become a useful Pokemon. However, Clamperl itself is not used in the slightest. I mean, maybe in Little Cup, I don't know, there are a lot of Pokemon that does its job a lot better, like I think, on top of my head, Tortuga, Caracosta's pre-evolution, just is a lot better with that Shell Smashy kind of combo. But that's all I have really to say about Clamperl. Clamperl's just kind of forgotten there, and that's why it's number 6. Coming in at number 5 is Cherrim. Now, the only thing that really stands out about Cherrim, which doesn't really stand out much, is its ability Flower Gift, which means if it's in the sun, it changes its kind of form into like this actual like flower, and I'm pretty sure its attack and special defense raised by 50%, which makes it quite useful considering its special defense is 78 and its attack is 60. So if you raise that by 50%, well, there you go, you got a pretty good Pokemon there. However, Cherrim itself, in its original form, is not like, it doesn't even ring any bells to me, and I'm pretty sure its pre-evolution Cherubi is even more memorable, because Cherim's pretty much, you got like a Cherubi and you just shoved a flower on its head. Like, it's kind of like, have you ever seen the anime where like Victory Bell or Weeping Bell would always eat James? That's pretty much what Cherrim is, but no one like likes Cherrim. I don't like, I may like its Flower Gift, but I don't like Cherrim as a Pokemon. I just think it's kind of that's all I can say. It's not a good Pokemon in my eyes. I mean, it's got Flower Gift, which is a unique ability. I'm pretty sure it's unique. And its stats aren't that, like, you can't really laugh at its stats if you run it on the Sun team. However, I just don't really like the Pokemon personally. And that is why it's number 5 on this list. Not because I don't like it, but because no one really remembers it, which is what the list is. Coming in at number 4 is Stantler. Now, Stantler, when I look at Stantler, I just think of it as like an underroided Tauros. That's the way I see it. We all have like those Pokemon that, like, I know, are kind of cool to us, and Stantler's kind of cool to me. However, Tauros, even Miltank, and even Bouffalant, they stick out a lot more than Stantler does. Stantler, I know those Pokemon don't evolve, but Stantler doesn't really have anything to like kind of oomph it towards you. Like, it's got a good ability in Intimidate, it's got a really good ability in Sap Sipper. Its stats are pretty good. Its attack stat is 95. However, just Tauros is more well known. I don't know, Miltank, if you want to classify it, is well known thanks to Whitney, and even Bouffalant thanks to this Afro thing. But then there's Stantler, it doesn't really have much to drag you to it unless like you strap a beard on it. There you go, Santa. But I don't know, not really much there to draw you towards Stantler, so that's why it is number 4 on my list. We are now in my top 3 most forgotten Pokemon, and in the 3rd spot is Lileep. And I know exactly why this Pokemon is forgotten. It's not that good of a Pokemon. I'm just going to be straight out and say it. I tried to use one in my Emerald Let's Play. If you guys watched that, I tried. It stuck with us for maybe about 5 episodes. Then I had to deposit it. It didn't pull its weight. It didn't do anything really. Its one good stat is its special defense stat with 110, and its speed stat not far behind with 85. However, everything else is in the red pretty much, with nothing going above 55 after that. The only really good thing you could do with Lileep is, I don't know, run a Reflect and Light Screen set, where you set up the Reflect first to take any physical damage because of its defense being so bad, then set up a Light Screen and you U-turn out of there. That's the only real like good thing about Lileep. But there are so many more Pokemon that do its job better, which is a common theme in this thing, where Lileep, it just doesn't do much. Like, it doesn't even learn all the elemental punches, I'm pretty sure. I think it learns Thunder Punch, which is a Dream Mode exclusive, and Iron Fist's ability would really ramp it up on the usage scale, where if it like learns it through egg moves or something. However, Lileep, I don't know, it's either a Pokemon that needs an evolution or a Mega Evolution or something. It's just very irrelevant. So, number 3 goes to Lileep. Coming in at number 2 is a Pokemon that a lot of people seem to think is at number 1. Lumineon. Lumineon is pretty much the, like, epitome of forgotten. No one really remembers Lumineon. No one really remembers its pre-evolution, Finneon. I mean, like, it doesn't have any, like, thing to really bring it towards you. Its best stat is speed with 91, my bad. But there's nothing really to bring it towards you. But the reason it's number 2 and not number 1 is that a lot of people seem to be like, oh, Lumineon is the most forgotten Pokemon. But saying it's forgotten, you're kind of bringing it up on the scale of not forgotten, if you know what I mean. Like that's what I'm saying. Like, Lumineon, everyone is like saying, oh, it's the most irrelevant, it's the most forgotten Pokemon, which brings it up to, like, not even the most forgotten Pokemon, because a lot of people remember it. Still, not much to really bring it towards you. You can train it in, like, defense and special defense to become a wall, to become a straight out attacker. It's attack, special attack, 69 each, no pun, like, no sexual joke intended. But so you can make it do whatever the hell you wanted. It is an NU tier Pokemon, so I don't know if you want to have some fun with that. However, there's nothing much to really kind of draw you in towards Lumineon. So number 2 is Lumineon. We are now at my number 1 on this list, and my number 1 is Maractus. Maractus is a Pokemon that I just forget about completely entirely. Like, I didn't even really remember it existed till going through the national decks and finding Pokemon for the list. However, it does, I will give credit where credit is due, it does have a respectable special attack stat at 106, its attack is at 86, and its HP is at 75, so by all means it's not a bad Pokemon. However, it doesn't evolve, doesn't have a pre-evolution, just seems very out of place for a Pokemon, especially since it is one of the newer gens. It's 5th gen, not 6th gen, like, because a lot of people, like, well, 6th gen is pretty much, well, it is the new gen, so a lot of the Pokemon there you may not remember, but Maractus is just like one of those, like, bottom of the barrel Pokemon, like, not bad and stat wise, but just no one remembers it. It's just pushed to the side. And, like, we already have Cactus Pokemon in Cacnea and Cacturne, so Maractus doesn't have a special, like, niche to, like, shine in, like, in design wise, and it doesn't have that bad, like, abilities. It's got Water Absorb as its ability, Chlorophyll and Storm Drain, which are all very good abilities, so it could be a force to be reckoned with if you Mega Evolve it. For example, quote unquote, Nick thinks Maractus should get a Mega Evolution, but Maractus does fall on our number 1 on the most forgotten Pokemon. And there you guys have it. That was my top 10 most forgotten Pokemon. If you guys did enjoy, leave a like, favorite, comment, subscribe. Do that good stuff, really helps me out. Follow my Twitter if you haven't, link will be in the description below. Please don't be offended if I accidentally wrote, like, your favorite Pokemon on this list or something. It's just the most forgotten. I'm not saying it's a bad Pokemon, but I'm just saying that I've just pretty much forgotten about it. Recommend some top 10s in the description below, because I'm always, like, open to, like, some top 10s before I go into, like, top 10 grass types, top 10 flying types. I want to, like, do some ones that not really, like, many people have done before, like forgotten. Like, I don't really think many people have done that, but don't really have much else to say. This has been Arodiad. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.